Hi and welcome to the latest video from the Stormforce Fitness Academy. My name's Jon Le Tocq, the head coach from Stormforce, and this video is specifically for any of you guys out there who have thought about joining the fitness camp but maybe decide the time isn't right. And what I'm looking to do is just go through some of the key reasons that we hear from some people and show you why you really shouldn't be thinking like that. So this is me. First of all, I want to introduce my team. That's Tor. That's Ivis on the left with one of our members, Martin. Sometimes we have to look after him when we go on a little social because he can get a bit rowdy. So that's Ivis looking after Martin, Louise and Russ there. So those are all of the trainers from the fitness camp. And as you can see, we're not big, horrible, scary people. We're not going to be kicking you while your face is in the mud doing push-ups and all that kind of stuff. Really nice people. We know how to push your limits, but we will give you TLC as and when you need it. Once we get you past that stage and we know you can push a bit harder, then yes, of course, we will try and push you so you become better, and that's the way it should be. And I really should just show you just 3 of our members here. This is another photo from one of our social nights. You can see the kind of people on our camps, you know, they're not big, scary, horrible people that are going to intimidate you as you might expect in certain gyms, but you can see this is just 3 of the girls. Anna, Sarah and Lou from the camp there. Again, just really cool people who are always happy to help out. So at the moment we've got around 250 members across the Stormforce Fitness Academy in terms of the main camps, the one at Fusion nightclub, the Boxercise on Saturday morning, and now our under 18 camps as well. So plenty going on, and you can rest assured that we're trusted by a lot of people here in Guernsey, and that's growing by the month. And just so you know that everything I'm telling you, either today or when you come on the camps in terms of the training and nutrition, has been featured in Amazon best-selling books and one of my own self-published books, which has sold across the world. And I've also been featured in the National Academy of Best-Selling Authors. So I'm not telling you that as a brag or anything like that. It's just to tell you that this stuff is trusted around the world. It's not just something we've come up with in the last few months and we're trying. It has been tried over and over again on beginners, intermediates and advanced alike with fantastic results. So let's get stuck into the reasons you might be thinking about in terms of not joining the fitness camps, even though you know you would get good results. The first one is, I'm not fit enough, I'd be embarrassed. Well, the first thing is, and I mean this in the nicest possible way, nobody cares as much as you think. Okay, it's very tempting to think that when you go to a gym, when you join a new class, whether it's fitness or anything else, that everybody's going to be looking at you and you're going to be embarrassed and you're going to end up running out the class with a red face. It's really not like that at all. You know, everybody there is there to do their own thing. They're there to push themselves, they're there to do the best they can and improve their own fitness. You know, we're not a fitness modelling gym, we're not going to have people posing in mirrors or anything like that. Everybody there is just there to get the best results they can and have the best possible session they can. So you really shouldn't worry that you're going to be made an example of, or people are going to be pointing at you or looking at you or anything like that. You know, you're there for your own reasons and they're there for their own reasons. Now, another point worth considering is that embarrassment comes from incongruence. The only reason you might feel embarrassed is because perhaps you know you should be fitter and maybe you were 10, 20 years ago, but you're not now. And there's this incongruence between where you want to be, where you know you should be, and where you are right now. So that might be why you're feeling embarrassed. You know, if you come into a class, nobody knows what you were doing 10, 20 years ago. Nobody knows your own personal goals. They have no reason to intimidate you or take the mickey out of you. You know, they don't understand and they don't really know. And like I said above, to a certain extent, they don't really care where you are, where you were and where you are now. They're just there to do their fitness class. And fortunately, we do have people who will just encourage you and push you on when you're struggling. And that's it. There's no reason to be embarrassed about it. If you need to take a rest because it's your first class or your first week, you need to sit out and exercise, that's fine. You know, it happens all the time and we're more than happy with that. Another question is, fit enough for what? So a lot of people say, oh, I'm not fit enough yet. Well, fit enough for what? We have no standards in terms of, you don't have to qualify for the fitness camp. You don't have to be able to do X amount of push-ups or be able to run 5K in 20 minutes or anything like that. So there is no standard to hit other than the standard that you want to be at. And realistically, you're never going to get to that standard if you don't join the fitness camp to take you to that next level. So try and have a think about what exactly fit enough means. What is fitness to you? It's different to everybody, and if you don't understand that, you will make these kind of general statements which have a root somewhere in your subconscious brain. And once you understand that, all of a sudden the path starts becoming a bit clearer. So if you actually mean, I'm not fit enough to run 5k, I'm not fit enough to keep up with my grandchildren, then that's different. But to say I'm not fit enough for a fitness camp that doesn't have any sort of qualifying standards or any limits for you to really reach or like I say, qualify for, then it really doesn't matter, okay? You can't say you're not fit enough, because we do take complete beginners. We respect effort over performance. Yes, we do encourage you to chase performance goals, but it's not like you should be embarrassed if you can't hit a certain level of performance. We respect effort, all our members respect effort, and you know, people will applaud you inside and physically applaud you if you put in enough effort. It's not about whether you can lift a certain weight or anything like that. So it is all about just give 100% effort, and that is all we ask for. It's as simple as that. I think I mentioned it earlier, no intimidation. It's not a big, scary, horrible gym where there's going to be huge guys throwing weights around or anything like that. You know, everybody's going to be at or around your level in some shape or form. You're all going to be doing the same kind of exercises. You can choose your own weights, starting from the lightest up to the heaviest, and nobody's going to intimidate you or sort of bully you into doing anything else. And again, we've got a really, really supportive team of trainers, including myself and all the members, and they will encourage you. We go on social nights when you'll get you get a really strong feeling of belonging, and people will be encouraging you and sharing tips and advice, and it's just a really, really cool environment to be in. I mean, in terms of being embarrassed, does it look like our members are embarrassed about what they look like? This is just one of our many regular socials, just having a really good time, and you know, people, different ages, different backgrounds, different shapes and sizes, different goals, we all fit together and just have a right laugh. And it's the same on the camps as well, it's not just when we go out. The next one is, it's too hard. Well, let me tell you that everybody has a thermostat which can be raised. And at the moment, your thermostat will be set at a certain level, and if something comes along which makes you think that the heat's going to go up too much, then you shy away from it. And you know, if there's something that maybe at the other end of the spectrum, if you think it's sort of not hard enough for you, then again you shy away from it. Everybody has this thermostat level, but the thermostat is set where you choose to set it. It's where you've programmed your mind to accept who you are, what you are, whether it's big, fat, small, slow, fast, whatever. You set that level based on what you believe in, and then your brain will follow. And your brain is what controls your actions and the activities you do. So if you set your thermostat and tell yourself you're fat, you're overweight, you can't run, you can't do anything, you're bad at exercise, then that's where you're going to think the fitness camp is too hard. And all we ask you to do is just make the effort to turn up, make the effort to register, and we will help you raise that thermostat gradually. So you start expecting more of yourself. It's not that we're going to push you and drill you into the floor. It's all about helping you believe in yourself more. And there is no reason to say it's too hard, because we have beginner and advanced options. So if you're coming in as a beginner and your thermostat's that little bit lower, then we'll give you the beginner options, and those are the ones you should work out until you've really improved, you've got the technique right, you're getting the full range of motion, and then that's when the thermostat's going up. So we can say, well look, you couldn't even do 2 push-ups on your knees. Now we know you can do 5 on your feet, so we want you to do the push-ups on your feet. Again, there's no pressure, but that's how we gradually raise that thermostat for you. So it's never too hard. There's always a level that you can go in at and perform at a really good level, and then start upping it gradually. Nobody's ever forced to do anything. If you say, look, I genuinely can't do this, it doesn't feel right, or something hurts, then that's fine. So all we're really asking is that you try, because often you'll have programmed yourself to believe that you can't do something, when in fact you've never actually tried it. You're just making assumptions based on something that's happened ages ago, or you've literally just made it up in your mind. So we're never going to force you to do anything. We'll watch you, look at your performance. If we think you can step it up a gear, then we'll ask you to. So we'll ask questions of you. We'll never force you to do anything. We'll ask the questions of you. Do you think you could do 10 push-ups on your feet this week, and then maybe do another 10 on your knees? That's fine, but it's just, we ask the questions, and again, with confidence, with more time on the camps, and seeing other people who were where you are now, seeing them progress and how they've got on, you'll start thinking, yeah, maybe I can do this. I'm confident I can give this a go now. And like we said earlier, that's where the thermostat goes up. And let me ask you, even if you are uncomfortable, and we kind of expect you to be a little bit nervous, a bit uncomfortable for the first few sessions because everything's new, it's new exercises and new people, would you rather feel uncomfortable for those 3 hours a week, or would you rather feel uncomfortable, unhappy with yourself, low self-esteem, low confidence for the whole 168 hours a week? That's something you've got to ask yourself. And let me tell you that we all start somewhere, including myself. I've always been into sport, it's always been what I do, but when I fractured my spine at 17, all of a sudden I was a complete beginner. I could do nothing but the most basic of core exercises and swim for about, I think it was about 3 or 4 months. I did nothing but swimming and core exercises, and then I gradually built myself up. So you may look at me now and think, oh, he's a trainer, he does lots of fitness stuff, he lifts weights, but it's not always been like that. I've had to literally start from the beginning, and probably further back than you are now. At the end of the day, if you're carrying extra weight, you're carrying more fat than you need, that's easy to get rid of if you follow the training and the nutrition, whereas building yourself back up from a fractured spine is a long, laborious, boring it's a boring process. So in some respects, you might actually be getting a head start on where I was. This is Dave Correa talking about thermostats. Dave got really good results following our turbo transformation combined with the camps. Again, I use Dave as an example when talking about thermostats because he's a black belt. He's fought at quite a high level, actually in doing kickboxing. Yeah, so Dave's thermostat has always been that little bit higher, but he let himself slip, and he'll tell you that himself. And you can see what he did. I think this was just in 8 weeks. Okay, so, and that's someone who's already been at a high level and kind of let things slip. That might be you. You might be a complete beginner, but the point is that everybody has a different thermostat. So you might be thinking, I can't commit to 3 sessions a week. Well, the first thing is we don't do pay-as-you-go classes simply because it doesn't work for anybody. It's very easy when you haven't actually committed time-wise, if you haven't committed to other people, if you haven't committed financially, it's very easy to let the most minor of excuses get in the way. However, because we all want more money, we don't want to waste money. When you've paid up front for something, you're going to turn up for it. There's a lot more incentive to turn up. We do actually have 2 sessions a week, so you can take the 2 sessions per week option. We don't do 1 session a week just because, to be honest, it gets you nowhere. It's very hard to progress in anything doing 1 session a week, so that's why we don't just offer 1. Even 2, if you're adding in extra cardio, you play sport around it, it can fit really well, and that's why we do it. But in truth, if you want the best results, then 3 sessions a week is going to help you maintain a higher metabolic rate. You're obviously practicing the exercises more, so if you are a beginner, the more repetition of these exercises, or should I say the more quality repetition of the exercises, the more you're going to progress. Often it's a question of priorities. Most people can find 3 hours a week for themselves, but it's people say, but I've got squash, I've got badminton, I've got dancing, I've got this and that. That's absolutely fine. That is absolutely fine if you've got other things in your life. So it really is a case of you need to decide, is losing fat, is getting in shape, is feeling really great a priority? If it is, then you're going to have to maybe cut out some of the other voluntary activities. However, if you're going to say to me, but my dancing is a priority or my badminton is a priority, that's absolutely fine. But I think you'd find yourself happier if you can just admit that to yourself and say, look, my dancing's a priority, my bingo's a priority, my euchre is a priority, whatever it might be, but you're not going to get in shape that way. If you're happy with that, then that is fine, and you're better off to kind of create this state of congruency in your brain that says, look, I know I'm a bit overweight, I'm happy with that. And you might not expect me to say that, but that's the way it is. This is all about making you happier. However, what I'm going to finish with on that slide is that if you can't let the issue go, if you're getting up every morning, you're unhappy, you're doing that, pinching the love handles there, you're pinching your fat everywhere, it's getting you down, then it is a priority and it is something you have to do something about, or you're going to be permanently unhappy. And that is where you've got to start choosing between different activities. And it's great if you can do lots of different things, then that's the way to live, definitely. But have a look at what's making you happy, what's making you depressed, and then you're going to be able to decide what should be a priority. So Rachel, great example. She's finally made the decision. She was obviously sick. I think it was she's lost 6 stone with us now. When she came into the camps, believe she started on boxercise and then went on to add the 2 sessions a week of fitness camp when she had a bit more confidence. So that's where you see where some of our members have come from, and you got to decide what is a priority. If your health is a priority for you and you reach that day where something snaps in your brain, then you've got to do something about it. You've got to make it a priority and make sure you turn up for every session. Another one is I work funny shifts. Well, let me just say, book yourself on a camp and we'll help you out. We're not going to say, no, you can't come in the morning this time, you're booked on the evenings. We do help people move around occasionally. It's not something we advertise normally because it can cause an absolute pain in the backside for us. We do like people to just stick to regular sessions, otherwise it's a nightmare. But on the odd occasions, if you do have a shift job, then we can help you perhaps to move so you do 2 evenings a week and 1 morning. Most of the time that is possible. We can't guarantee it though, let me say that, but we will do our best. We've had policemen, firemen, nurses, doctors. They've all been on the camps and we've helped them out mainly because we appreciate what they're doing for us, and that we'll do whatever we can to help them out. So Adam, good example. Adam's actually a personal training client of mine. He doesn't come on the fitness camps, but we only train together probably 3 times a week. Adam owns Fusion nightclub, so weekends and certain nights in the week he's up late till sort of 2 in the morning, and we work around it. We do what we can, and you can see that he's still got really good results. Something I hear a lot is I need to do cardio. I can't come on the fitness camps because I heard you do weight training. I need to do more cardio first to lose weight. Well, let me ask you the question first of all, what is cardio? I'll give you the answer. Cardio is basically anything that causes an increase in your heart rate, an increased challenge to the heart, increased blood flow, increased oxygen flowing around the body, your heart rate goes up. Believe me, we can achieve that on the fitness camps, and we do, and probably to a much higher degree than just going out for a jog. It's very much based on sort of interval-based training, so we get the heart rate high, then we bring it back down, you have a breather, you move on to a different exercise, and we're switching exercises so the blood's pumping from the legs to the arms to the chest. That is a cardio effect, but the difference is it's a lot more exciting. You're not just plodding on the roads. Don't get me wrong, if you go running because you enjoy it and it relaxes you, that's fine, and a lot of people run outside of the camps, but if you're thinking you need to do cardio to lose weight quicker, then you are on the wrong track. And I could do a whole presentation on that, so I won't keep going on about it. And the other side of the coin is, what is weight training? You might be thinking, oh, I've heard they use kettlebells and dumbbells. I don't want to lift weights because I'm going to bulk up. Well, again, yes, if you follow bodybuilding programs and you're ripping muscles to shreds and lifting big heavy weights, then and you're eating the right foods and taking the right supplements and you've got high testosterone levels, you may bulk up. But the kind of what we call metabolic conditioning that we do on the fitness camps, it is about fat loss. Okay, it's about creating this oxygen debt in your body so that afterwards your body has to try and bring you back into balance, and it does that by raising your metabolic rate and pumping nutrition and oxygen around your body. So metabolic resistance is more effective than doing cardio for fat loss, or should I say for body composition, because if you do loads and loads of cardio, yes, of course you'll lose weight, but you could end up, and you probably will end up, losing muscle as well, and you don't really have a lot of shape to your body. Look at some of the marathon runners, whereas when we do metabolic resistance, you can actually maintain muscle whilst losing body fat, and that is how you get that. I don't like the word toned, but that's essentially what it is, maintaining or even building a little muscle and melting body fat. And why not go for free fat burning? Like I said, if you're doing 3 sessions a week, you're going to ramp up your metabolic rates, say on the Monday night, all of Tuesday, or at least most of it, you're going to be burning more calories than you would if you'd just gone out for a jog. So you're actually getting free fat burning while you're not even thinking about it. You're just at your desk, walking around or doing whatever you do during the day. Again, Hannah, a perfect example. You can see the transformation she's been through, and she never goes running, doesn't go cycling or any cardio like that. She's done the camps and follow the nutrition. Next one we hear is I prefer to train on my own. Well, first of all, we find that many people in one-to-one training just don't work as hard. It's the kind of social pressure when you've got other people around you. You just want to work that little bit harder. It's human nature. That's not to say everybody's like that. Some people do perform better in a one-to-one situation. Everybody is different, but I can tell you that for many people, they're choosing that. They're saying they want to do one-to-one training. I prefer to train on my own for other reasons. It's not actually because they prefer it. It's not because they get better results. There's just something else going on there. So harness the social effect as part of the fitness camps. Work on your mindset. Have a reason to keep up. Work on a mindset that makes you want to work harder. Sometimes we want to train on our own because subconsciously we know that we can take extra breaks, we can have a little rest here and there, text our phone, all that kind of stuff. Give yourself a reason to keep up with people who are slightly better than you. Be dragged along by them. And by the way, we do offer personal training, so we get quite a few people who will have personal training first to get confidence up, make sure they know the exercises well, and then they go into the camps. And of course, that is perfectly fine, but it's not something you should feel you have to do. Many people just launch into the camps and they find out there it's all good. And it's kind of what Eddie did really. He followed our turbo transformation. You can see what he did in 21 days and then after 12 weeks, and he's now one of our top members on the camp. So everybody's different, but you find your own way onto the fitness camps, but you really shouldn't be scared of it. Next question we often get is, I've got an injury, so I guess I shouldn't do fitness camps. Well, we like to focus on what you can do. If you've got an ankle injury, we can focus on upper body. We've got various ways you can do kind of upper body cardio. I think some people almost are a bit surprised at what we can get them to do when they've got an injury. They think they're going to get out of a hard session, and we still find stuff they can do safely and effectively. So we'll always look for safer exercises or even safer variations of the same exercise. Sometimes it's good to take a step back, almost regression as we call it, do an easier option so you're getting the same movement, but perhaps it's not as dynamic, it's not as heavy on the joints, and then that way you can keep moving well but give the injury time to recover. And again, that's what the trainers are there for. So always tell us. We get plenty of people coming in because they've hurt themselves horse riding, or they've fallen off their bike, or they're playing five-a-side football. That is what we're here for as trainers. We'll find what you can do and make it as safe as possible. And of course, there are times that if the injury is too bad, we do say to people, look, it's not best for you to train. So we'll obviously be sensible with that. And trying to just build yourself up in the gym can actually be more dangerous. We have some people say, I'm going to go to the gym and get my legs stronger. To be honest, most of the time in the gym, you're going to be unsupervised. You could be doing the technique wrong. It's really not a good idea. You are much better to do this in a supervised environment. If you were going to have a trainer supervising you in the gym, then that's different. But if you're just going on your own, then I really wouldn't advise that. Okay, we're almost there. So I've already got gym membership. Well, let me ask you, first of all, why do they lock you in as the only option? If you're going to go in and they say you've got to sign a 12-month contract, the reason they do that is because they know that most of the members are going to fall off the wagon within a few weeks because there's not the right support, there's not the right inspiration. They're going to fall off the wagon. So this is why we offer you can sign up for 1 month, 3 months, or 12 months. We hope that you'll do a month and yes, go on the 12-month contract because it works out a lot cheaper for you. But just ask the question, having gym membership doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't mean you're going to get the results you want. And you have to ask the question why they feel they need to lock you in. And I can tell you the reason is because these gyms have massive overheads and they largely rely on the people who pay the direct debits and don't go. I worked in the biggest gym in Nottingham, and I think we were told we had 4,000 members. I'd say maybe 500 to 1,000 actually turned up, and that's probably being optimistic. So if the other 3,000 were able to cancel their memberships, then obviously the gym would fall apart. Have you already got an investment manager? Let me ask you that. If you're going to invest your money in an investment manager, you expect them to make you more money. That's why you do it. If they're not, you're going to start asking questions pretty quickly. But do you do that with your gym membership? What are you actually getting for your gym membership? Okay, for me, it's like a Ferrari with no wheels syndrome. It's pointless having a Ferrari. If it hasn't got any wheels or an engine, it might look good from the outside. It's nice and shiny, but if it doesn't actually give you the results, if you don't see any progress with it, if you're not enjoying it, then again, you have to ask yourself, what are you paying for? This is just another one of our team members, Russ. Again, I think this was in 8 weeks he did this. So again, you can see Russ sort of let himself get out of shape, and he made really good progress over those weeks. We often get some people saying, I don't care about fat loss. Sometimes it gets called fat camp. Well, Let me tell you that health and well-being affects everything from your relationships with other people to your sleep to your productivity at work. So it's not just about, yeah, I'm going to go to the fitness camp and lose a stone. It's not about that. And we have a lot of people who either didn't have much fat to lose or they did have it but now they've lost it, and they keep going because it makes them feel so good. Like I said, they sleep better, they're more productive at work, they can tolerate stress better. So it's not just about fat loss. Plus, we all know about the silent killer, heart disease. We've got to get the inside of your body, it's a priority really, get the inside of your body working properly. And to be quite honest, if you detox yourself and make yourself healthy, you're not going to have much body fat anyway. But there's also the silent breaks, which are your hormones. When you're stressed out, you're not exercising, you're not eating properly, again, your hormones will put the brakes on your progress. You won't lose body fat, you won't put on muscle, you won't feel good, you won't be productive at work because of these brakes that are on you. So again, it's not just about lose a bit of body fat. I can tell you the story about Bob Stone, who he came to us with his blood sugar was up around 15, 16, and within 2 or 3 months it was, and that level is almost having to inject insulin. He got it down to, I believe it was 6.2, which is well within the safe range. So yes, he lost 3 or 4 stone of body fat, but we've got to think about things like diabetes as well. Fat loss for me is always just a middleman. You know, it should be a way to get your body in shape so you can do other stuff. You might choose to run a 5K, do the race for life. You might want to get into triathlons, but you just know you're carrying too much weight to do it. Fat loss should always just be a middleman, and we actively encourage people to have other goals. So Alison here, this was actually a client from England, but I wanted to use her as an example. She started at 20 stone 10 and then went on over, I believe it was 2 years, to ride from London to Paris. So again, it's a fat loss as a way to a performance goal. And finally, last one is I can't afford it. Well, let me ask you a few questions. Are you in a results mentality, or are you in a spending time mentality? Personally, I'd rather spend an extra £20 a month for a 100% money back guarantee service than spending a little bit less money, but for what? You get to spend time in the gym. That's effectively what you pay the gym for. They're allowing you to spend time amongst all this equipment and hope you know how to use it. So you've got to start asking yourself, what are you actually paying for? Wouldn't you rather pay a little bit more, and it really is just a little bit more, to actually get results and to feel great and be able to change pretty much every area of your life? Would you rather save 20 or 30 pounds a month but not actually get anywhere? You've got this gym membership that doesn't really do much for you. So hazarding a guess here, I mean, every gym has different prices, but generally you're going to pay £40 essentially to get in the gym door. Now, what if a restaurant did this? If they charged you £40 to get in and they just left you to cook your own food? Sounds stupid, but that's pretty much what they're doing. They're letting you in, so you've got all this equipment, and they're assuming and hoping you know what to do. And you're hoping you know what to do, having read a magazine or maybe watched a DVD, read a blog post. But this is why the results don't come. So again, ask yourself, what am I actually paying for? It's not really so much what does the fitness camp cost, but what am I paying right now? What am I getting for it? We've got to start changing the mentality to, I'm paying for results. I want results. That's what I deserve. Not I'm paying just to be able to spend time in your facility. And I might get a few comebacks here on this one, but I genuinely believe there aren't many people who can't afford £55 a month, which is our lowest membership for the 2-day-a-week camps. There aren't many people who can't afford £55 a month after the essentials. So it's priorities. Yes, you've got to pay your mortgage first. You've got to feed yourself and feed your kids first and pay the water, etc. But after that, most people do have £55 a month to spend. But the problem is, it's not a priority. So a lot of people are looking at their spend on fitness after a few other things. Coffee. If you spend £2 a day on coffee, that's £40 a month. And that's only if you do it Monday to Friday. A bottle of wine a week, a couple of glasses when you get home in the evening. Even if you only get a pretty cheap bottle at £5 a week, £20 a month. What about a boozy night out? We could easily go through £50 by the time you add in taxis, and maybe if you're going out for food as well, you can easily burn £50 and a hell of a lot more, but I'm trying to be conservative here. That's another £100 a month. Cosmetics. I found out the other day that apparently 18 to 24-year-olds are now spending around £75, £80 a month on cosmetics. Adults aren't going to be much different. And we're spending cosmetics, a lot of the time, spending on cosmetics to cover up the problems we're getting because we're not healthy, because our skin's bad, and we're getting wrinkles from stress. You know, if we can learn how to eat and sleep and exercise better, we don't need a lot of this stuff. And so you might easily spend £50 a month. And what about you buy new shoes or you buy a jacket so you look good? Easily £50. You know, buy a new leather jacket, probably looking at hundreds of pounds. Shoes can be a hell of a lot more than that as well. Why don't you just get yourself in shape? Believe me, I'm going to speak to the girls here. Believe me, boys will notice how beautiful you are, how much you take care of yourself, your body shape. They're going to notice that before your shoes. Okay, same with the guys. You know, you can have the most expensive suit in the world, but if you're carrying body fat and you're sweating and you've got a double chin, then you know, again, it's probably not having the desired effect. Whether you're trying to attract somebody else or you're looking to sort of impress people in meetings, we all know that the first impressions last. Have a think a bit more carefully about what makes an impression on you, and normally it's more the manner of someone, how energetic they are, how happy they look, not what tie they're wearing or what shoes they're wearing. Okay, so even if we just take 2 or 3 of these, we could be looking at £140 a month. If we add them all up, £260 a month for stuff that you don't need. And I'm not saying you can't have a boozy night out. I do it sometimes, but it's when it becomes a habit and you're saying to yourself, I can't afford it. When you're actually prioritising this stuff, you can afford fitness camp or even anybody else's gym or fitness camp, but you've got to make it a priority. Okay, and the best thing is all our camps come with 100% money back guarantee. So if you don't get the results you want, we'll give you your money back. And not only that, but on top of our 12-month memberships, you also get a privilege pass as well. So we're going to give you discounts on insurance at Cherry Godfrey. You get money off a bikes or pretty much anything at Ian Brown Cycle Shop. You can get percentages off massages at the the Sports Remedial Massage Clinic. We've got lots of different discounts where you can actually save money. And let's say we get 10% off your insurance for a year. If your insurance is normally, say, £300, you're saving £30 a year just like that, straight away. It all adds up, and you don't have to pay any extra for that. In fact, if you pay less by going on the 12-month contract, we give you more savings. So, again, the question of I can't afford it is more a question of I'm not prioritising it. So that's where we have to go back and think about, you know, what's most important to me in my life. I'll give you a bonus reason, number 11, but I want a life. I don't want to just be eating rabbit food and not having any fun and staying in. Well, this is our Christmas party. You know, these are all guys on the fitness camp and their partners, absolute bunch of nutcases, all shapes and sizes and ages and backgrounds and everything else, but absolutely phenomenal night. And I would love it if you could get over the reasons, the obstacles, the blocks that you see for joining the fitness camp. We would love to have you as part of the team. And as you can see, it's an opportunity to make a lot of friends. So hopefully we'll see you at the Stormforce Fitness Academy very soon.